Hi, I'm tired and I don't know. I have a bunch of updates. I'll start with the MRI. It showed a bunch of things, and the summary of it is to move forward with the colonoscopy endoscopy, which is already the plan. The MRI showed that I have a genetic defective pancreas. It's like divided in two, and it causes acute pancreatitis and can cause death, but I haven't had pancreatitis, so it seems to not be an issue. There are three other things that showed up that need to be looked into more. It's a terminal ileum. There's something going on with that. I think it's underdistended. I don't even know what any of this means. And then there's like a hyper something wall, the wall of rectal wall or something. And the main takeaway is inflammation in my sigmoid colon. What have I been saying since always? It's my sigmoid colon. Okay, so here's the thing with the colonoscopy. Today's February 2nd, right? I got the results back, I don't know when. A few days ago, a week ago, I don't really remember. The MRI was on the 25th, so it was between then and now. I had an appointment on the 24th for a colonoscopy and an endoscopy with my previous GI, the terrible doctors from the other hospital, the student and the attending, right? Physician. When I met with the women's first group, my new GI doctor told me to cancel that because she wanted to do it herself. Cool. She assured me, I said, are you going to be able to get it around the same timing? And she said, yes. So guess what? Since before I had the MRI, I reached out and said, no one from your office. I saw her on the 11th. So this is like the 25th of January. No one from your office has contacted me yet to set up the colonoscopy. A week goes by, still nothing. I send it again. She gets back to me. Someone calls me yesterday, and guess when they fucking can take me? May 19th. April 14th will be 2.5 years of every day. May 19th. I wrote back to her, haven't heard anything. It's so frustrating. It's ridiculous also. Okay. So, hold on. Okay. So yesterday I had an appointment with the nurse practitioner in my new Urogyne's office to get refitted for a new pessary because I've been wearing the wrong size, but it's the one that was the easiest for me because I had to take it in and out, right? I'm not taking it in and out anymore all the time. They gave me a different one. It's a little bit bigger than the other one. It's thicker than the other one. It has like an inside webbing. It's not like a hole all the way through. And then it has this like notch on one end, and what it is good for is for your urethra. It will hold it up, so that helps with incontinence, you know what I mean, because of prolapsed urethra. And I'm telling you, I didn't even realize how I knew it wasn't right, but having this one in now, I'm like, oh. okay so I didn't realize that this office of the nurse practitioner was the same office as my female urogyne, the one who told me she couldn't give me my 18-year-old body back, the one who told me there was no plan, there was nothing she could do about it. Remember her? The one who, I didn't even tell you guys everything she did during the physical exam, and I'm not going to say it now. She was abusive. And I was given a pelvic exam with no chaperone, and it's their rule. Okay, so I didn't realize it's the same office, and she's one of the doctors on. So I walk out of the elevators and I see her fucking name, and I was like, okay. So I go in and I'm waiting, and I get called back, and they bring me to the same room. It was the same room. I was like, whoo, okay. This nurse practitioner is separate from her, and she didn't have any idea. So I never filed a formal complaint. I was going to, and I had planned on doing it, but I was too emotionally charged, and so much stress, you know what I mean? It's just been, I was waiting for like a plan to be in place before I took action. So I, like, the severity of her actions would be known more. Do you know what I mean? But whatever. So in the office, the nurse practitioner, it's just me and her, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna get the whoever to chaperone for the physical exam. And I said, a chaperone? And she said, yeah, I said, is that your policy? Like, is that regular? And she said, yes. And I was like, how long has that been put in place? She said, oh, like 3 years or more. And I was like, oh, well, I had my previous Urogyne, whatever. I said, I had an unchaperoned physical exam, and she was like, oh. And then she said something. I said, oh no, it was abusive. And she was like, oh. So that's all I said. We didn't talk about, I did say I had I was like triggered a little when I came in and saw her name, and I said, and this is the same room. But that was it. I didn't say anything else, and we like didn't talk about it. I got the new pessary. It's great. She was great. That whole thing was great other than that. So today I get a phone call. I see the hospital name pop up, and I'm like, oh, not expecting to be contacted, but maybe it's my GI doctor. It was not. It was like the manager of, not HR, but something like that. The nurse practitioner went to her and told her. And so she reached out to see if I would be willing to talk about it. And I was literally on the toilet. And I was like, okay. Oh, yes. And I like got up, whatever. I had just sat down. I was like, looks like I'm holding that in. And I went into my bedroom. Not butt-ass naked, just clearing that up. Not that it would be wrong if I did, but I wasn't. Okay, so I'm not prepared to talk about this. It's been almost exactly a year since it happened. And I'm like, whew, but I do. I tell her. And I recalled everything. I was not emotional, though you could still, it's trauma. It's a trauma. It wasn't healed. You know what I mean? It's still like, whatever, because all the other gaslighting that just added on to it. But I told her everything, and she was horrified and apologized and whatever. She's gonna talk to the doctor, and she's somebody else, she's like the manager. So then, like, I guess it's HR, someone else like of the hospital. She's like the manager of the division of their, I don't know, you feel me? But there's somebody above her, and they're gonna contact me. She asked me if I would be all right with it, and I was like, sure. So that happened, which was cool. That was cool. I was surprised. I was a little like, is there patient confidentiality here? Like, did she like overstep? I don't know. I'm not mad at her. Like, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So that happened today. And then I had a gynecologist appointment today. Hold on. My new Urogyne had recommended that I go see my gynecologist to talk about how the pessaries give me chronic PV, and that there are some kind of, because I was taking the pessary in and out, they said they don't, that's not good. Like, they don't like that to happen because it can fuck up your vagina even more. Whatever. So, there is some kind of preventative medicine you can take like regularly, twice a week or every day or something, so that it like prevents your chances of getting a bacterial infection. And the urogyne who's going to perform the hysterectomy and the prolapse, all the repairs for all the prolapses, had told me to go get a pap smear to because I had an abnormal pap smear, and if you have an abnormal pap smear and you're getting a hysterectomy, they do a complete hysterectomy. They take your cervix and your uterus. They try to leave the ovaries if they can. So she said that just because I only had one abnormal one ever, that to get another one and to see where the cervix is, so that, you know, when eventually we get there to the surgeries, they'll know what to do. So I went in. He's a good man. He's an older man, like probably close to 80s, mid 70s, but he's very smart. He's a smart dude. I haven't seen him since this all started. When I first started, he was one of the people I saw to figure out what was the distension. He was floored to hear everything that has been going on. And he looked at the MRI decography with me, and he was like blown away. He was like, this is complicated. And he had said something about figure out like what happened. I said, I know what happened. And I told him the birth of my second kid. I told him, and the look of horror on this man's face. Horror. It was so empowering. It feels so good to be validated. So he's not sure what the next step is. He's also frustrated with the colonoscopy being so far away, because nothing can be done really until we figure out. He's like, this is something we're gonna have to look at step by step, because this is complex. Like, it's bad. It's worse than I thought it was. And he is also outraged at the missing of the original fecal loading diagnosis, that the radiologist missed it, the plastic surgeon missed it, and it went for however long until someone was like, oh, hey, by the way. He said, you're young, you're 51. I said, I know. We talked about my vagina having to be sewn up, and he said it's a possibility, but it's one that he would say is a last resort, and that there are things that they're going to try before that, which is the surgeries. He was of the thought that I might not need a hysterectomy, which was so interesting, because I had 3 other urogynes, 2 of them female, tell me that I do need a hysterectomy. And they were saying, I said, they're not telling me it's because there's something wrong with the uterus. They're saying because it's prolapsing and it's in the way, and the severity of everything else, in order to lift it all back up, the uterus would be structurally in the way. So my other update is yesterday, after I got the news that my fucking colonoscopy isn't until May, I was like, I decided to start pursuing medical malpractice, and I am. And I looked it up to see what the grounds are in PA, and there's 4, and I meet them, and I can prove it. So I'm starting. I was going to wait and see what the final, but I'm not waiting. It takes a long time, and it doesn't matter. It'll just make it, whatever, my case more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. In other news, I had my on the 31st, my 10-year anniversary of recovery from anorexia, my eating disorder. That was, yay, so great, right? Super awesome. I just remembered that I ordered food and I put this on Do Not Disturb. So I'm going to stop this, but that's my updates for now. Yep. I don't know. Go birds! Go birds! Okay. Bye.